Ladies and gentlemen, the Nintendo Switch 2 has finally been revealed after months of speculation about all the leaks, and obviously most recently the design of the Switch 2 completely leaked on the internet for everybody to see. And this reveal from Nintendo basically just confirms everything that we already knew, which is a little bit underwhelming, right? Like when I went through and I watched the reveal video over on Twitter, I was almost a little bit disappointed, right? Because we just didn't get anything that we didn't already know effectively. The leaks were just 100% on point. Like, I mean, what do you want me to say? Like the entire console, everything about this console leaked. The specs leaked like months ago. I think like 8 months ago or 4 months, like some incredibly long time ago. So it feels like we kind of already knew about the Switch 2. The real question was, when is it coming and are the leaks real? And the answer is this year, and yes. So today we're gonna go over the Nintendo Switch 2 and why I personally have some mixed feelings about this console, because for one, I'm extremely hyped. I'm really excited. The Switch is an incredible console. The library of games, it's incredible. It's one of the best Nintendo consoles of all time. That is indicated by the fact that it is one of the best selling consoles of all time. So the successor to that console for me is very exciting. I have an OLED Switch, but it's still in the box because it is the Tears of the Kingdom special edition. I didn't want to open it because I didn't really have any games that I wanted to play anyway. So this is for me actually going to be the first time that I have an upgraded Switch experience. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am a little bit worried about the Switch 2 because I've talked to some of my quote unquote normie friends who, you know, they love Nintendo, they have a Switch, they enjoy the Switch, whatever, and their first response was, you know, well, if it's not that different, then I don't need it because I already have a Switch, right? And that sent alarm bells off in my head. I was like, oh my god, this is the Wii U all over again, right? If you guys don't remember, the Wii was in a very similar position as the Switch. It was like the golden goose for Nintendo. It sold incredibly well. It was very innovative. People loved the Wii and it transcended gaming, right? People bought a Wii for watching Netflix, for exercising, right? Like just basic normal things that, you know, you're not even a gamer and you owned a Wii back in the day, right? You guys might not remember the Wii. You had to access Netflix from a disc. You put the Netflix disc into the Wii. I feel old just saying that. But after the Wii was the Wii U. And when Nintendo revealed the Wii U, yes, it had a handheld screen and you could kind of like dock it and things like that, but it still had to be connected to the actual console for it to work. It was basically like the beta Switch, right? It was like, yeah, you could play it handheld, but you got to be home to do it, which kind of defeats the purpose unless you're a little kid and your parents don't want you hogging the TV, right? And the response from the broader public was like, well, it still uses a Wiimote, right? It's effectively just an enhanced Wii, and we don't need that little handheld TV because we got a TV, right? So a lot of people thought the Wii U was just kind of like a minor upgrade to the Wii, and in many respects it was, but it was its own console, right? It was an actual console generation that came out during the PS4 era, right? People don't remember that. I guess it came out a little bit before the PS4, but my point is, like, people just do not remember the Wii U. It sold horribly because the marketing for this console was just, it was a huge missed opportunity. I loved the Wii U. I mean, I spent hundreds of hours on Mario Kart 8 before most people even knew it existed because they didn't play it till the Switch, right? So the Wii U I thought was incredible, but objectively it was kind of a flop. Like, it just did not sell well, especially compared to the hype of the Wii. And I'm getting Wii U vibes right now. I know the Nintendo fanboys are going to be super upset that I'm saying that, but listen, again, I want to be very clear. I'm excited for the Switch too. I'm very excited about this, but I'm really getting let me just move my head over here because I want you guys to fully see the console here. Okay, this is the Switch design effectively, right? Like, we're looking at just an enhanced version of the Switch. And so I am extremely worried, especially for people who have an OLED Switch. They're not going to do much research on this. They're just going to look at it in the store and be like, oh, like, it's just like, oh, it's a little stronger of a Switch. I already have a Switch. Oh, it's backwards compatible. So, okay, so I can still play all my Switch games on it. Well, I already have a Switch, so I don't really need that. So guys, I don't know. at first glance, there is nothing about this console that screams this is the successor to the Switch. It just looks like the Switch, which I think could be a really bad thing. This also reminds me, remember when Nintendo tried to release the DSi as like a successor to the Nintendo DS? It had the little camera on the corner, and when the DSi came out, you guys might not remember this, but Nintendo said that there would be exclusive games for the DSi because it's a stronger console than the DS, right? And that was true. They released a few DSi exclusive things. I think some of them were like download only, maybe some only came out in Japan, but I never played any exclusive DSi games on this thing. I just played Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Platinum, and that was it. And I love the DSi, but I used it effectively as a DS. Like, there was nothing special about it. And this just is another example of Nintendo releasing a little bit of a stronger piece of hardware that looks basically identical to the previous version of hardware and saying there's going to be new games for it, and then they basically just like wait to see if the console takes off before they really commit to making games for it. Right now, I know this is like a super old example, and so maybe it's not as good of an example as the Wii U example, and you might be thinking, well, Omniarch, you could also make the example of the 3DS, right? The 3DS effectively looked just like the DS, but it is also one of Nintendo's best-selling consoles of all time. The 3DS was a smash hit. It was a massive success. Everybody loves the 3DS. All my homies love the 3DS. I love the 3DS. I dug it out of my boxes the other day because I wanted to play a little bit of Alpha Sapphire. Okay, great console. And so the 3DS is the exception to this rule. It was a console Nintendo released, a little bit stronger hardware, actually ended up working out really, really well. So it's going to come down to the marketing of the Switch 2, I think, for Nintendo to really sell this console, because out of the box, it just looks like a Switch, and it's just a little bit stronger from what we can tell from the quote unquote full spec leaks. Okay, so let's go over some of the information that was revealed today in case you guys are a little bit behind on this news. The Nintendo Switch was revealed today, which is on the January 16th. Now, there's also going to be a Nintendo Direct about the Switch 2 on April 2nd. Nintendo, bro, we've known about the Switch 2 since last April. What are you dragging this out for, man? Like, look, if it's not ready by now, just I don't know. I just get such bad vibes from this. Like, we gotta wait till April now? April, bro, we already don't even bother, brother. We already knew all this stuff like months ago. It's fine. We already know the specs. Okay, to be fair, we don't know the full games, but in the reveal trailer or video that they posted today, we did see some Mario Kart gameplay, and some people are speculating that it might drop with Mario Kart 9, which is exciting because Mario Kart 8, like I said, has been around since the Wii U, and they've released some DLC for it, and people still love the game. I've played it recently. It's an incredible game, one of the best Mario Karts of all time. But again, I'm so worried because normies are gonna watch this reveal video and they're gonna see Mario Kart gameplay and they're gonna be like, bro, I already have a Switch that plays Mario Kart, right? So I feel like Mario Kart was like a horrible example game to use. You need to be revealing a new Metroid game. You need to be revealing a new Zelda game. You need to be revealing a new like Pokemon. Like you need to put like a crazy franchise on this thing at launch for people to really differentiate this from the Nintendo Switch. They need to look at this on day one and be like, that right away is a game that I cannot play on my old Switch, right? That's what you need to do. And maybe this is Mario Kart 9 and maybe you can't play this on the old Switch, but at first glance, people are not going to connect the dots. They're just going to see Mario Kart on a Switch looking console and say, I've already got that at home. No thanks, right? So to me, that was a miss in terms of what you should have revealed for this console. But regardless, let's move on here. They did say the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out this year in 2025. I suspect it will be probably around holiday, probably the fall, something along those lines, especially if we're not getting a Nintendo Direct until April. I mean, it's possible that it could be coming summer of 2025. That's definitely a possibility. They, reveal everything in April, and then, May or June comes around, the console drops, maybe July, and then, it's lit for the summer, right? That that could be the deal. Who knows, but it's definitely coming this year, and we will be able to start experiencing the Switch 2 a little bit early if you would like. So the Switch 2 in North America, you can play it in person in New York, Los Angeles, Dallas, and Toronto in April. Okay, so there's a few dates here listed. I suspect this will be at like the Nintendo store in New York City, for example. I live in New York, so that'll be there. A couple of other things, of course, this is backwards compatible, which again is incredible because the library for the Switch is so good. But also, again, people are going to look at that and be like, oh, it's a Switch console that I can play my Switch games on. I have that already. So interesting. But of course, this is good. It's an overall positive. I just, from a marketing perspective, like, man, I just don't know, man. I just don't know. Okay. So with all that being said, again, the Switch specs, the Switch 2 specs, I should say, kind of were revealed months ago. This is like 8 months ago or something like that. Like, I know that this was published today, but we have Reddit posts from upwards of 8 months ago that show basically the exact same specs, and it's underwhelming, to be honest with you guys. It's very underwhelming. Now, before we look at the specs here, again, let's just take a look. The Nintendo Switch 2 on the official Nintendo website, they did change how the Joy-Cons connect to the dock. It is no longer the sliding mechanism, which truthfully was a little bit clunky. I thought it was fine, but I didn't love it. That hinge is going to break day one, by the way, if you're a child. So that, I don't know why they went ahead and did that, but regardless, it looks like the Switch 2 Joy-Cons attach via magnets and a little bit of an actual physical hardware connector instead of like using wireless connectivity. So all in all, I think that's a huge improvement for the connectivity. Hopefully they have redesigned the joysticks to have no drift. That's crazy that just the fact that that's still a thing, and like there's no great solution to it, honestly. And also they have spent tons of money repairing people's Joy-Cons. So anyway, that's kind of the physical hardware there. Yes, they announced that there will be exclusive games for the Switch 2, and also you can play the original Switch games. So Super Mario Wonder is shown off here. You can see that the Switch 2 is a little bit larger, so there's that. This is the original Switch, of course, not the OLED Switch, so we have a little bit of a larger screen. The screen looks like it may be a little bit better. It could be similar to the OLED Switch screen. Of course, this is like a digital picture, so there's no way to actually know. It looks larger, but I mean, these bezels are still looking mega, brother. Those are some massive bezels. Those are some 2013 looking bezels right there. Like, holy smokes. So yeah, it's I mean, look, am I excited for the Switch 2? Yes, but if we look at the specs, again, we have these the shipping manifest came out. This was again 8 months ago. This was May 9th. And again, we're not going to get the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct until April 2nd. So almost a year after we already knew the specs of the console. Like, we got to wait a year, bro. Anyway, here is a post from Mazel5. Shout out to Mazel5 over on Reddit. Put a little bit of a breakdown of what you can expect the Switch 2 hardware to be like. And this is over on Reddit again, 8 months ago. They kind of tried to do an apples to apples comparison to things that we already know, although you really can't, and we'll explain that in a second. But in handheld mode, the Switch 2 should function, or should be about as powerful, or I should say a little bit more powerful than the PS4 before DLSS. Now, if you guys don't know, that is deep learning super sampling. It effectively uses deep learning, or AI, to upscale images in real time. It is some NVIDIA technology. I think it came out in 2018, late 2018, early 2019. Yeah, okay, so 1.0 release came out in February. I think it was revealed in 2018, but it actually started being released in 2019. Regardless, DLSS kind of squeezes some more power out of hardware than is technically possible because of AI. So it's been around for a while, but even still, before DLSS, the Switch 2 in handheld mode should be a little bit stronger than the PS4, and when it's docked, it should be between the PS4 Pro and the Xbox Series S, again before DLSS, with more modern hardware than the former. Now, it's worth noting that the Switch 2 should be able to be compatible with DLSS as well, so that's good news. From what we see here, the RAM should be a little bit slower than the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S in the speed department, but more capacity than the Xbox Xbox Series S as well. Should have 10.5 to 11 gigabytes of RAM available to games, going by the Switch 1's RAM allotment for its operating system. So that is great news. 12 gigabytes of RAM for the Switch 2 is very exciting. Looking at the storage speeds, it looks like the max speed should be a little bit slower, or a little like a hair under, according to Mazel 5. The Xbox Series X and S still plenty fast. This shouldn't be really much of an issue. And then they go on to say that not only is the Switch 2 ARM based rather than x86 like these systems that we're comparing it to, but it's also Nvidia versus AMD. So there's lots of other factors. Again, the Switch 2 should allow for DLSS as well, so it's gonna be a good looking console. Okay, it's gonna be a good looking console. But here's the thing, my knee-jerk reaction was, okay, portable PS4, great news, right? And again, with DLSS, it could be a little bit stronger than that, so great news, love that. Then I realized the PS4 came out in 2013. So we are celebrating Nintendo releasing a console in 2025 that is on par with 12-year-old hardware. Look, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer here, but like, Nintendo always does this, right? They always do this. They release super outdated hardware on day one, and then by year 2 or 3, it's like you can't get any third-party support because it's just so old, like, bro. And then again, in docked mode, we're looking at PS4 Pro power. PS4 Pro came out in 2016, so we're talking about 9-year-old hardware. 9-year-old hardware, okay? So when you combine that with the fact that it looks like a Switch, it plays all the Switch games, they revealed it with Mario Kart, which is an existing Switch game, and we have hardware that's between 9 and 12 years old. Like, man, it's just I'm getting such bad vibes. I'm getting such bad vibes, like this is a Wii U all over again, right? And again, I'm excited for the console. I will be buying one as soon as I possibly can. I hope that we have incredible games for the Switch 2, and I hope that I'm wrong. I hope a lot of people upgrade to the Switch 2 for whatever reason. I hope Nintendo goes all in with some great games and makes people really want to upgrade their Switch, right? Because the Switch came out in 2017. That thing has been, even at launch with Breath of the Wild, it was struggling. The frame rate was horrible, right? And you know, the limitations of the Switch have ruined great possible games. Like Scarlet and Violet could have been a great open world game. It wasn't, because the Switch, it just was trash. It was awful, right? The hardware can't do that. Or it can, but Game Freak just wasn't given enough time to make the game possible. I don't know. Same thing with like Legends Arceus. Like we've been robbed of great games because, partially at least, the Switch hardware's trash. And so if we look at the Switch 2, yes, it's stronger, but it's still 10-year-old hardware. It's a decade old, and in tech years, that's ancient, right? It's ancient. Imagine if the iPhone was revealed with a decade old hardware. Like, that's crazy. It just does not happen, right? It's not possible. So again, I have mixed feelings here. I'm excited for the Switch 2. I'm gonna buy a Switch 2. I want the Switch 2 to succeed. I want to be wrong here. And you know, for all the normies, right, a handheld PS4 is great. Okay, let's just be real here. A lot of people think the PS4 looked incredible. Objectively, it did look really, really good. To this day, it still holds up. Okay, so it's not like the PS4 looked terrible and therefore this will look terrible, right? But you know, is Nintendo even going to make use of that power? Are they gonna? Is Game Freak gonna stay a development team of 30, bro? Like, bro, you need the games to match the power, right? So anyway, I'm excited for the Switch 2, but I'm super nervous that it's gonna flop, and I hope that it doesn't, because I want to see Nintendo succeed, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. The improved design of the Joy-Cons is welcome. The screen looks great. Just, we need some banger titles on launch that make people realize that this is a whole new experience. It is not just a stronger Switch, even though it looks and will feel exactly like a stronger Switch. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. Are you excited for the Switch 2? Have I been too harsh on the Switch 2? I need to hear from you guys. I need to know what you guys are thinking about this. But for me, I'm excited for the Switch 2, but I was excited for the Wii U, right? So I am clearly not the person that will be able to read the room. We'll have to see how the normies feel about this, but I have a bad feeling. I mean, can they really match the original Switch with this? I just think there's no way, right? The Switch was a phenomenon, and especially like with COVID and everything, like the Switch sales were through the roof for a variety of reasons, and I have yet to see anything about the Switch 2 that says, yeah, this is going to revolutionize gaming just like the Switch did, just like the Wii did. I'm not seeing it here, so I think it will be a decent console. I'm gonna buy one regardless, but I'm getting big Wii U vibes. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. While you're down there, drop a thumbs up in the video. It really helps out the channel a ton. It helps get this video out into the YouTube algorithm so other Nintendo enjoyers might see it, and consider subscribing down below if you want more content like this. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace.